Hello and welcome to another episode of Found It, Fetched It. I hope you are all enjoying the new year and I've got loads of things planned for 2026. We're starting 2026 with a brand new free live masterclass which is next Thursday, the 29th of January at 7:30. As part of this masterclass that's happening next Thursday, we're running a series of mini chats that will be going out today on the podcast, and they're also going out live on Facebook on Saturday, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday at 10 a.m. But you can find those updated here as we will be uploading them to podcast as special audio downloads. We hope you enjoy this first episode, which is if your gun dog switches on faster than you can think, this is why. And we look forward to seeing you in next week's free masterclass. Hello, hopefully we have gone live on Facebook. So it's all about your dog, and if your dog switches on faster than you can think, right? This is why. What I mean by that is, have you ever been like, I don't know, you're in a field and it's really calm and nothing's in your perception is changing, and your dog's with you and they're behaving, and then suddenly they are gone. Like something made them decide, I am off, that is the end of it, I am leaving you, okay? Have you ever had that happen to you? Like if you have, like give me some comments, give me some thumbs up. I don't know exactly where they go. Oh yes, I do. The comments thing has popped up for me. But just have you had that feeling? That feeling is like, oh my God, what's changed now? Why have you gone now? And if you've got a little pup who's always been really good at staying with you, and then suddenly your young dog starts doing this as adolescence kicked in, that can be even more of a shock, right? Because you're like, that pup stayed with me all the time, and now suddenly I have no idea where they are. And that can be really, really scary. 1 second you're sitting there together or standing there together, next minute they are across the field after something, and you are like, what just happened? Whatever they have clicked onto, they processed it and made a decision before you've even maybe seen what it is, okay? So you're always feeling sometimes with one of these fast hunting dogs, gun dogs, like a sheepdog, border collie, that type of dog, you always feel one step behind if you don't know what's going on or why it's happening. So this episode of this live isn't about how to control that. It isn't about obedience. It's about you understanding what's going on in their head and why it's happening, okay? It's all about speed, and it's all about how high drive dogs operate. So if you think about it, they move fast. They don't warm up. They're not like us in, the gym. I better stretch before I do some exercise. They are like literally target focused. I am going, and they mean it. There is no gentle ease into this for which time you could change what they were about to do. It is like, I'm on it, I'm off, I'm gone. Scent hits, movement happens like a squirrel or a rabbit or something like that, and they are out of the park, they're off. The environment changes and then the action happens. And what I mean by that is, and this is the important part, the speed doesn't mean the dog is badly trained. It also does not mean that you are doing this wrong, because you are absolutely not, right? What it does mean is your dog's decision-making process is faster than yours. And that's not a weakness on our half. It is literally how our brains are developed. So human decision making has consequence. And what I mean by that is we learn over time. We don't have it when we're children, but we learn over time. If I step out in front of a car, I'm going to get hit. If I jump off this bridge, it could possibly hurt. We start rationalizing the decisions we're making. And dogs don't tend to do that in the same way. Especially young dogs are the ones we call the Ferraris. They're fast, they're fit, they're on the move. They do not think through consequence, because dogs don't need to live in consequence. They're not sitting thinking about what they did yesterday or what they're doing tomorrow. They're very much in the present, in today, working with today. So we evaluate as well meaning. So we think about things like, if I run away from the person I'm with, what will they think about that? Whereas dogs don't have that either. They're not like, oh, if I bog off after this squirrel, my owner is going to feel really sad about that. That's not something they're having, okay? So we have to put the brakes into the dog. Now, what I mean by that is this is not like a forceful, painful thing, but we need to teach our dogs self-control and steadiness. Just as much as you were taught these things as a child, your dog needs to learn them too. And there's things that sometimes, as owners of fast dogs, we don't even think about. We never take this process or this skill set into consideration because we may be used to a pet dog. We may have had, I don't know, like a Yorkshire Terrier in the house, and we told them to roll over and we put them on a little lead and walk them around, and they just never give our family any bother. I say Yorkshire Terrier, but there are like hunting behaviours in a Yorkshire Terrier. But most like pet family dogs, they don't have the same instinctual drive as a gun dog. So we've got this gun dog, all this is going on, and we need to help it learn self-control and steadiness. If you were with me or just a moment ago on Instagram, I was talking to you about Rex and Arthur. They're my dogs. Rex is 9. He will walk by the side of me, off lead. The Noah's Ark could go in front of him. He wouldn't leave me. He would look at me to ask me with his little eyes, do you want me to do something about this? But that would be it. Unless I gave him a command to do something, he doesn't do it. He's very chilled out. He's older. He's wiser. He's an easier dog. Arthur is a year old next month. He wouldn't even look at me. He'd be gone. Like literally, he'd be having a whale of a time. There would be ostriches going one way and peacocks going the other because he wouldn't care. And he certainly wouldn't be caring about consequence. He certainly wouldn't care what I thought about it. He would just be having a whale of a time. And this is a difficult situation to happen because dogs self-reward, and our experts will tell you more about that than I ever could, but basically it's a bit like us. Okay, this is how I understand it as another handler just like you guys. If I go and have one piece of chocolate and I had them as a child and I liked it, which I did, I now have a habit of having chocolate, okay? And I like that habit. Nobody would ever separate me from my dark chocolate. Like literally, if you said to me I can't have Maltesers ever again, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. They don't reward me. If you said to me you can't have 80% dark chocolate again, I would be like, we're going to have a fight about this. Because the habit in my head is there. It's so instinctual sometimes that I will go and get a square dark chocolate without even thinking about it. And how many of you do that? Like, give me some like thumbs up in the comments, some likes, some loves. How many of you like go and like think, when did I start eating this? Or when did I start drinking this? Or when did I sit down to do this? We have ingrained habits in our brain. So I want to talk to you about something I talk about in my book, and we're going to talk to you about this in depth in the free masterclass next week. But it's called the ETERO squared framework. That sounds a lot, doesn't it? But I'll put it really, really clear for you. My father taught me it this way. 2 minds working as one. The one on top, because I used to have a horse when he taught me it, or the one holding the lead is the idiot. And what he used to mean by that is not that we are stupid, but the dog and the horse, they're doing stuff instinctually. It's part of them. They make up who they are. And we are trying to manage that. So it's up to us to learn to manage that. It is not up to the dog to just know to change its behaviors. And sometimes we think, oh, the dog doesn't like me. Of course the dog likes you. The dog loves you. But he doesn't care about it when his version of chocolate running past 90 miles an hour. He has no thought about it. So it's up to us to learn how to control this sort of framework. And what it works on is this: environment, which is the first E. Then thought, which is the T. Then E, which is our emotion. R, which is response. And O, which is outcome. And we say squared because there's 2 of us going through the same process at the same time. And what makes this difficult is we don't go through the steps at the same time. You can have it that the dog has clocked the squirrel in the environment, the change in the environment, way before you have, and they're gone. You didn't even see the squirrel they're chasing, but you know by their behaviour that's what they're doing. They're chasing something. Or we could have clocked the squirrel earlier than the dog, and we might be like, thought process, he's going to go after that one. So my emotion is, oh, I don't want him to do that. That scares me. Response, put a lead on him. Outcome, dog doesn't chase the squirrel. Dogs are hypervigilant in their environments as part of nature. We become hypervigilant in our environments. So it could be if you're walking down a dark street on your own and you're feeling a little bit aware because you don't feel safe in an environment, you can become hypervigilant on things you like. So you might decide, I want to buy that Mini Cooper. It's lovely. I'm looking at it in a magazine. And then everywhere you go, you see that Mini Cooper because our reticular activating system, RAS, is built in our brains, and you don't need to know this, but it's built to find the things we are interested in. Dog is always interested in, when they are young, the chase, the enjoyment, all those things. They're important to the dog. And if you think about it, you are working with a predator. Like, we don't like to say, you know, oh, my dog's a predator, because then it gives us like connotations of the film we used to watch where he wasn't very nice. I don't think I ever watched that film all the way through. But the reality will be in the dog's got two eyes in the front of his head. It is focused, it is targeted, its ears, its sense of smell, everything is built to kill. So we shouldn't be shocked when all those instincts hit the dog and the dog responds to them. If we haven't put the brakes in, if we haven't put in our self-control and our steadiness, it's going to happen over and over again. So when we think about this framework and how it works, we need to learn that our dog's thought process, emotions, response, outcome, they're going to be very, very different to us. The environment shifts, thoughts fire for both of us at different times, emotion spikes for both of us at different times, responses happen at different times. When you are working well with your dog and your dog is a fully trained gun dog, if that's what you want, or is a fully well-behaved pet gun dog, if that's what you want, the thought processes, I suppose, are more aligned. Or the dog might have gone through other parts of it before you, but they will look to you for signals of what the next step is. And you will look at the dog and give signals of what the next step is. So it's more of a teamwork, and that's what we want. When we've got this like Supercar On A Shoestring, it just keeps flying ahead. It doesn't keep on asking us to give it directions, give it the map, tell it what the destination is. Okay, so the young dog's brain is basically saying, crap to it all, I'm gone. I'm going to go enjoy myself. Your brain goes, environment changes, thoughts appear, emotions show up, and then we pause, we think about it. We also rationalize and think about consequence and go through a process where you think like, what happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? Am I doing too much? Am I holding the dog back? Like, all those sort of thoughts and feelings are going on in our minds. It happens all the time when we're training. It happens all the time in the house. It happens when we are making sandwiches for the kids to go to school. We've got all these things going on. But by the time we have processed stuff, the dog has normally acted. So there's the mismatch. Even the most capable handlers get caught out, right? So please don't be like beating on yourself if your dog is literally running rings around you at the moment, because even the most capable handlers with the best dogs, I tell you about Rex, when I walk into a field with sheep in, Rex is on a lead. He doesn't need to be. I know he doesn't need to be, but I do it anyway, because what if that was the one day something made Rex make the wrong decision and Rex decided, I'm going to just follow my instincts and go do this. You know, the consequences for the sheep and the consequences for Rex would be horrendous. The consequences for us as a family would be horrendous. So it's all about working this out. We need to put in the brakes, as in our self-control for the dog, a little bit of self-control for us as well, but we'll talk about that in the masterclass, but also the steadiness, so that it gives us a timing gap, that the speed, you know, 0 to 60 isn't 1 second, maybe it's like 10 seconds. And that gap appearing allows us to step in. It allows us to either direct, if we want them to use their instincts in the best way, because we're working with them, or to distract or to change, whatever. The dog's behaving on mechanics, we are behaving on mindset, so we need to work on that a little bit. Being told, try harder with your dog does not help, right? So if you're being told that, that's not the answer to this situation. The situation is to build that gap, that timing gap where you and the dog have that moment where you sync, you work together. What actually changes things is this orientation. It is this gap where you can make a decision as a team on what's going to happen next. So they're not taught to stay orientated. We teach them to stay orientated. And dogs are selfish and we are selfish. And what I mean by that is dogs want to do what they want to do in the time. We have to teach them the thing they want to do is what we are doing. And once they've got that, when they know that being with us is more fun than anything out there, it becomes far, far easier. So to get to the point where you can be calm in training, you can be calm in walks and not be overstimulated by the environment, because the dog may be overstimulated in the environment, we can work through that with you. So I've gone over my 10 minutes, I always do, because I've got notes in front of me, but you know, because I've just delivered it on Instagram and I thought I was giving it to you guys and I hadn't done my part in here. I now have I put this in my notes or have I already said this? So if you enjoyed this, please join us. We're going to be doing another one on Saturday, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we have the live masterclass. It's called Supercar on a Shoestring. If you haven't seen it yet, if you want to take part in it, just look in the comments. There is a link, or comment below this video, shoestring, and we will send you the information. It's a totally free masterclass full of insights. It's with me and LWDG group expert Claire Denia. She's absolutely amazing. I'm going to take you through the mindset, brain, human side of it. She is going to take you through the dog side of it. She knows far more about it than I do. She is absolutely incredible, and we would love for you to join us next Thursday 7:30 to do Supercar on a Shoestring. See you then. Bye.